What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel again, and we got the BMW in the shop now. So we're gonna start taking off the wide body flares in the rear, and let me guys show you what we're working with. Like, this thing's just so nasty looking. It's so wide. Look at the front tires. Those are some chunky boys, and the rears are insane too. Got center lock custom wheels. He said there's only 2 or 3 of these ever done in the world with this kit, so this one's pretty crazy. So check out his YouTube, Bailey Durant. He has tons of dope videos, so definitely go check his channel out and watch his videos. This thing has a crazy big carbon fiber wing, carbon roof, carbon interior. It's on airlift, airbag suspension, carbon fiber front flares, and he has a front bumper and side skirts and all that, but he just took it off to transport it over here so I can work on it. There's just carbon all over this thing, and these seats are really comfortable. I got in them just to move it in the shop, and I actually like these a lot. And look at the brakes on these things. They're humongous, big old brakes. Even the rears are huge too. I'm gonna go ahead and start on the rear quarter panels tonight. I already have this one pretty much unbolted, and this side's already off. So you can check out on his YouTube kind of what he did. You just cut along right here, since the wheels are so wide, and when he airs out it goes low. So you just cut along there and you fold up the inner seam, and I'll grind all this paint off and stitch weld everything back together. And then I'll cut all these tabs off, grind them down so there's no sharp edges or anything, and then hit it with some seam sealer to prevent rust. So I'm gonna start on the back, get this knocked out first. So lucky for me, he already notched everything out towards everything clears when it airs out. I know it's touching a little bit right there, but this still has room to go up. So what I'm gonna do is jack up the car, take the wheel off, and then I'll hammer these up, bend them up some more to give them some more clearance. I'll air it out again, make sure when he airs out there's no rubbing or touching of anything. This is my first time ever dealing with center lock wheels. They're very similar to the lowrider knockoff style wheels though. Essentially you have one nut in the middle. Fun fact, guys, my very first time welding ever, like ever touching a welder, I was doing this exact same job but on my 240, and let me tell you guys, I could not weld worth crap. Like, I didn't know jack squat about welding. I didn't know you had to take the paint off. I didn't know you had to prep the metal. It was a Harbor Freight welder that my buddy let me borrow, and I cut up my fenders on my 240 and started welding, going to town. It was a flux cord welder. It was getting super hot, burning through, catching on fire. It was a bad deal all around. I still have the video somewhere. If I find it, I'll post a little clip somewhere in the video and show you guys. It was not good by any means. So this is my chance to redeem myself, I guess. I still have to do it to my other 242, so I'm pretty excited about that as well. But this is a lot nicer car, and it'd be a lot nicer work than, that was like probably 10 years ago. The first time I ever touched a welder. So it'd be pretty exciting. Guys, look at this freaking wheel. Look at that. This thing is gigantic. Holy crap. This reminds me of my truck wheel I had. And surprisingly, as big as this is, it's really not as heavy as you would think. It's actually a lot lighter than you would think. So, this thing's nuts, guys. What I'm gonna do now is go through and bend all these back down so I can get the grinder in and clean up all that paint. that wasn't bad at all. That came out a lot better than my 240 did a long time ago. Now I'll go through and cut all these little tabs off right here. Hit it with the grinder, kind of smooth it out a little bit. Put the wheel back on and cleaned up the welds quite a bit. He has clearance all the way around, so that's gonna be good. So for some reason, I don't know why, but for some reason this side is laying on the tire. It's weird because earlier when we aired it out before I cut the tabs off, it cleared. Everything cleared, everything fit. So I was like, all right, I can just go ahead and fold them up and weld them. But now it's sitting on the tire pretty much all the way around. I'm not sure why, but I'm gonna have to go through and just cut some more off, fold it back up and weld it. So right here, what I did is I pretty much just measured 1/2 inch up, drew a little tick mark, and just drew a nice arch all the way around there. And that's where I'm gonna start cutting. Still have to trim a little bit right there on the rear bumper, but other than that, I have clearance all the way around. So, knock that out, continue welding that all the way around, grind it. This side should be good to go. So now that I got the back done, it's time to work on the front. Now this is gonna be pretty challenging since I have to cut the firewall out, recess it in, and then build like a kind of box it in a way so there's not just a big old open hole. All right guys, here we go. Got the outline of where the wheel was hitting, so we're gonna start cutting along there now. Quite a bit of cutting, but everything clears all the way down, it clears all the way up, it clears. So now I'm gonna go through and make a poster board cutout of a piece to box that in. So this took me a while to figure out how to make a poster board template into a CNC file. So pretty much what you do is you can get a tape measure or just something that you have measured for reference. So for instance, I've measured from there to there with a mic to get a precise measurement. Took a picture of it with my phone, sent it to my computer, upload a canvas. And then what you're gonna do from there is calibrate and zoom in and select the furthest point there and the furthest point there, and it was 4.5935. What that'll do is pretty much put it to real life time scale, and then you can just go through and pretty much just trace over it. I mean, I'm gonna go back through and clean it up, but for video's sake, you'll just go through and then you'll have a part. Turn the canvas off, and now you can see that part right there. Obviously, it's not gonna be that thick. It's gonna be made out of probably 14 gauge. I could probably go 16 gauge, but I'll see how the 14 gauge does. But that's how you turn a poster board template into a file on Fusion 360. Got the front notched out and undercoated. Went ahead and test fitted the wheels, turned them side to side, and they clear with no rubbing issues. Pretty stoked on getting that notched out. Everything works exactly how I planned it to. Now this side's gonna be a little more interesting because the ECU is right there. And it's pretty close to where I'm gonna be cutting. That side had some wires and a fuse box. I did have to move that side out of the way as well. So I'll have to be doing the same thing over here. But no big deal, I'll get that thing unbolted, Got the ECU out, got all the wiring kind of tied back a little bit away from any areas where I'm gonna cut. I'm gonna go ahead and just take this completely out of the vehicle while I'm welding on it. Definitely do not want to damage that computer. Passenger side is all finished up. It came out great. Put the wheels on and there's plenty of room to turn and do everything else. And that's a wrap on that one, guys. Not gonna lie, I was a little nervous cutting up the firewall in there, but it came out good. And if you guys like this car and want to see more of the build, subscribe to his YouTube, Bailey Durant, to see the future progress of this build. I know he's trying to get it to SEMA. I know it's getting a roll cage painted and the wide body molded to the body. But like always, I will see you guys on the next one.